Hello everyone, welcome to the preview for the game against West Ham at the London Stadium on Super Sunday. A team, despite having a shocking start, still only 3 points behind us in the league, would you believe it? A team that's conceded 23 goals in all competitions in West Ham. United have conceded 16. Some scary stats, similar stats, I would suggest. Does this feel like a mid-table clash, Shreyas?
Yeah, it feels like that. And I think every single week it sort of feels like that no matter who actually comes up against us, it turns out to be a very tricky fixture. And like you mentioned, they're just 3 points below us. And considering how shocking that West Ham have been playing in the past few weeks, and considering the expectations people actually had from West Ham, considering with the new manager coming in, with the kind of players that they were actually able to bring in this transfer window, a lot of people expected them to be much they expected them to play like Brighton, how Brighton have been playing and maintaining their position in the league. I think a lot of people expected West Ham to do that job, but they haven't really. They've been really underwhelming and underperforming in that aspect, and quite similar to us. I think they're very inconsistent. They're genuinely very inconsistent. They've got a couple of good players in that squad who have been performing well, but it's just not really been working out for them. And quite similar to us, it can go anywhere this season. When it comes to this season, it can genuinely go anywhere for them.
Yeah, absolutely. The away form's pretty concerning, Sam, going into this. We've only won once, and that was against Southampton. I think we remember that game as well. Does this game go a similar way? Does it have that vibe?
Honestly, I think it could go either way. I think we could show up and have a Brentford performance. I think we could show up and have a Tottenham Hotspur performance. Go either way, honestly, God. I've given up trying to predict or trying to think how Ten Hag is going to set up because honestly, I think he changes his team mind day-to-day basis. He throws in curveballs that don't need to be thrown in. He changes things just for the sake of changing it. There's no sort of tactical reason why. And then I think the last nail on his coffin, he said something last night. I'll find the full quote in a minute. Basically sort of chucked the players under the bus.
Yeah.
Let me find the full quote.
Do you mind that though, Sam? Because I feel like sometimes they do get protected quite a lot, don't they?
But that's the sign of a manager on his last legs, isn't it? When he starts chucking the players under the bus, that's one of it. That's a death nail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me just find the quote because it was quite interesting. There's been so many quotes in the group chat I've sent in today. It's insane.
Oh my God, it's been
how
like
fun it's been.
Yeah.
That's just United in a nutshell, though, isn't it? I feel like anytime there's a bad game, the amount of stats that come out and the amount of quotes that come out that everyone's just absolutely raging about, especially from Ten Hag, because he does feel like one of those managers who just seems to like.
The thing is, he doesn't even see it as a bad game. He thinks that it's been a solid game. We are a tough team to beat.
Our young players should learn game management and not make mistakes. Like if you chuck players under the bus, fine, but chucking the young players under the bus, that's bad, man. And then I think the other quote was something about, I just ignore the Tottenham game. I don't pretend as it exists because it's pointless because we lost a man and then the red card. I'm just like, you're making it very hard for me to believe in anything you're trying to do or justify anything you're trying to make decisions when you make comments and statements like that. So yeah, honest to God, it could be any team that shows up.
It was a real mixed bag, wasn't it, Shreyas, last night? I know the wounds are still relatively raw, with it being literally like over 12 hours ago, 24 hours ago, sorry. Do you think West Ham will take confidence from that game against Fenerbahce and maybe deploy a similar kind of setup?
Doesn't matter. Any team who plays against us will take confidence. Doesn't matter if we win, lose, draw against us.
Let's say, Shreyas, I remember when you first came on the show, right, and you'd be extremely like positive. You'd be like, "Oh no, I still believe this," and they have well and truly wore you down to the very core, haven't they? You know?
The most positive member of this whole channel, and he's been destroyed.
We're broken.
Yeah, I mean, last night I made sure not to stay awake and watch the game because I knew how it would go. And when I woke up, and the first thing that I saw on my screen was a Jose Mourinho team has had more possession over the 90 minutes against us. And I just knew how that game would have gone. And once again, I saw Eriksen scoring a goal, and then I saw a 1-1 game, and it must have genuinely been a terrible watch for whoever was watching it live. But yeah, it just doesn't really, make any sense. because with the kind of skill set we've got in this team, with the kind of players that we've got in this team, you've got a good blend of experience as well as youngsters in this team. You would expect us to do a lot better. And I think the biggest problem in this team right now is the manager thinks that we are having a good start to the season. Somehow. I don't know how he thinks so.
No idea.
After having a draw against Twente, having a draw against Fenerbahce and Porto, a Porto side which is perhaps one of the weakest Porto sides in the last 20 to 25 years. Even their fans actually couldn't believe that they came off with a draw in that game. In the league as well, we've had our worst start ever possible. Ten Hag has broken his own record when it comes to having the worst start possible, but he's still somehow very hopeful.
That's because
Yeah.
he's pretending the Tottenham loss didn't happen. So when he
Yeah.
looks at it, it's not been a bad loss.
Even
It's
if you
like,
take the Tottenham game
we're just
out,
pretending it's not
even-
happening.
He's opened up a wormhole there, hasn't he? Basically, he said,
Yeah.
"Oh, any managers who lose a game, we can just pretend that it didn't happen." And sweet.
Yeah. And even if you take the Tottenham, that Tottenham game out as well, we really haven't been playing like a world class team in any of the other games either. We've really been struggling a lot this season, even against Brentford, I would say as well. The second half was actually decent, but in the first half wasn't really that much of a great watch either. So there's a lot of work to be done in this team, and considering the comments that he's come out with yesterday, I don't know what sort of team is actually going to be turning up against Sam.
Could be Onana in DM at this point.
Yeah, Evans in the 10. You never know what
Why
he's
not?
actually going to do. Yeah,
We can just pretend it didn't happen anyway, even if we lose. So
exactly.
he's
And-
breaking the chains here.
And the majority of a team, you've got a young core. If you're going to be throwing them under the bus,
No
you
comment.
don't know how they're going to be turning up against an away side in West
Mhm.
Ham this
Yeah.
weekend. So just not the smart move to do when you're already under so much pressure.
Sam, you touched on a giant curveball before, and I want to go back to that. Obviously, Majari starting as a 10 was the one that everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? We've had arrested Bruno Fernandes now, coming back into this team. What do you expect from him?
The usual.
And did we miss him? Just
No.
to add
No.
to that.
No, he's offered nothing all season. He's been terrible most of the season. Hollywood passes, running around the pitch, trying to work hard and make himself useful, but becoming more of a nuisance because he's out of position, and then he's putting in tackles and causing free kicks, and then kicking off with a referee. 2 red cards in a row. Obviously, the Spurs one got overturned, rightly so, but still, he was off the pitch for however long it was, so that cost us. I think there's maybe 3 players in this team who can hold their heads up high this season. Onana, which, when you say the goalkeeper is one of the best players in the team, that's a worrying sign already. Like, that's a worrying sign, because it means he's having to make saves a lot and save games.
People will tell you otherwise, Sam, that he's not playing good.
I don't know what games they're watching. So
Bizarre, isn't it?
yeah.
Fenerbahce could have scored 4 yesterday.
And that double save, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Against Spurs, it could have been 6-0 had he not made saves. Like, I just
The Crystal Palace game,
Yeah,
the save
another
from
one.
Eze.
Yeah.
So I don't know what games they're watching if he thinks he's not a good player. Johnny Evans at 36 is one of our best players. We brought him back on a 1-year deal, basically as an emergency to fill a hole, and he's been one of our best defenders.
Yeah.
And then Christian Eriksen, who we all agreed was done, his legs were gone last season. We were happy to see him go to Ajax for like less than 10 mil. He's scored 3 and 3 and is one of our most technical, gifted players in the midfield, and is our only creator in that team. Like, that's it. Everybody else has been poor to absolutely abysmal. Nobody else has shined. And I just think, Bruno, rest or not, I think until the system changes, until we adapt to certain ways of playing and players' strengths and attributes, it's going to be the same thing. And I just think, I think that captaincy at United is cursed as well, because I haven't seen a guy who's took that armband who's done well. I haven't seen a single one. Like, since Fergie left, every single person who's took that captaincy has looked like shit. And I just think that's cursed. The number 7's cursed. The fucking right wing is cursed, and the captaincy's cursed.
Everything.
United. It's ridiculous.
Everything's cursed.
So
yeah,
Bruno or not, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not going to make a difference.
It's weird, isn't it? Because there was so much optimism, Shreyas, over the summer with Ineos coming in and the money that they spent and the players that they brought in, this slightly different recruitment strategy. A lot has been made of Joshua Zirkzee performance last night. that he just didn't look up to it. He was way off the pace, some of his touches and passes, but I don't know if you'd agree with that assessment, but that was the kind of general consensus around it. We had Capello coming out today talking about him, saying that if you watch him in the Italian league, he was admired, and now you see in the Premier League, he can't handle the intensity and the pace. Does that worry you as well? Because the fact that not just our players, existing players and senior players are looking low on confidence and broken, it's now like the new signings have come in also, and that seems to be the case.
No new signing can play in this team with confidence, considering how the season has been going. And when I would say the media attention turns to these youngsters, especially when if you look at Xerxes came in, got a goal and got the winning goal against Fulham in his first game, and after that, it has been slow for him, but he has also been really unlucky. There have been games I wouldn't say that he's had a very poor start or he's been very poor for United, because there have been games where he's been like the nucleus of our attack. He's the one who's actually been able to get things going. It's just that it's very different when it comes to the type of striker he is. Of course, he should have gotten perhaps 2 or 3 more goals easily this by the time of the Fenerbahce game, but there's still a lot to come from him. Right now, he's very low on confidence. I think after that, after that Liverpool game, his confidence actually, diminished quite a bit, because it was a very hard game on him. So it is going to take him time. No, I don't expect him to, start going on a hot streak of 6 to 7 games of scoring right now. It's not going to happen. It will take him time, and brick by brick, he's going to go about it. But I just think with the kind of setup that we've got at the moment, with the senior players actually not even able to take the pressure, I don't expect a youngster who's just coming in already low on confidence, media's hot target at the moment as well. It is going to take him time. And unless we actually see us, putting 2 to 3 goals every single game, it's not going to change. Right now, whenever we score, it is all by luck. Whether it's Højlund scoring, whether it's Eriksen scoring, or whoever else is actually scoring, it all comes by luck. So once that narrative actually changes, that's perhaps the only time where you can make a fair assessment on Xerxes.
Yeah, we got Aaron in the chat saying Leicester and Forest are about to play football, 2 teams that play better football than us.
I agree.
Yeah, we need to keep an eye on those results tonight. That's what we need to do to see where we're going to end up in the table. We've got Amir Fikri saying we are United and we need you as head coach, Rude. So he wants Rude Van Nistelrooy. I'm not about that myself, but everyone's entitled to an opinion. Right, stats wise, West Ham have won their last 2 Premier League home games against Manchester United, last winning more consecutively at home against United in the league. Between 74 and 77. United have lost 4 of their 8 Premier League meetings with West Ham at the London Stadium, more than they had in 20 visits at their old ground. And West Ham have won their last 2 Premier League games against United without conceding. They've never kept 3 consecutive home clean sheets against United as well. So I always feel like every time I read these stats out, they always go against us. Yeah. Like, I get these from not like a biased website or anything. It's quite literally the BBC that are putting these stats, and they always seem to be damning on us, no matter what it is. So yeah, take those for what you will. Some people aren't stat people, but it is what it is. On West Ham, Sam, we discussed it at the start of the season when we did the big season review. Probably should have kept David Moyes. They've brought in another Spanish David Moyes who's got a fancy name. The start of the season, like I said at the start of the show, they've conceded so many goals, around 23 in all competitions. So, does them bringing in Lopetegui, when you look at it, obviously now everything's easier in hindsight, but they don't look any better at the moment, do they?
No, they look pretty awful. They had that one sort of game, didn't they, where I can't remember who they beat. And I cast my mind back.
They beat Ipswich 4-1, didn't they?
Yeah. They had that one game, you're like, okay, maybe they start here, and then they got battered again, didn't they, by Spurs? Yeah. So it's just like, right, okay, this team isn't ready. Like, this is not ready. And you think with the transfers they brought in, I thought they did very, very well in the transfer window. Todibo, Wan-Bissaka, Fulkrug, Somerville. You had Kudus stepping up to the plate in his second season, who I think is an excellent player.
Red carded for this game, though. Don't
exactly.
forget.
That is the only good news in this game. Yeah, you had players like that, and you think, okay, maybe they can push for a Europa League or Europa Conference League this season. Maybe that's something they can aim for. And it's just not been there, has it? It's just been terrible. And you look at it and you think, They got rid of their most successful manager of the last like 30, 40 years. Who won him a European
Crazy.
trophy. And he brought in a guy who plays arguably worse football, if not the same football, and he's getting worse results. He's not even getting the results that David Moyes got. So it's like there's been a sort of error of ways there, isn't there? And I think West Ham will give him time. Like he'll get some time, but I think West Ham fans are pretty sick of this sort of football at the minute, and they want something way different. And they're getting the same thing under a different manager. They spent money on transfers, exciting players, and it's the same shit. So I feel their pain because we are suffering something similar. Spent a lot of money, not any better, not improving. So I get it. So, but I think he'll get a bit more time because I think he is a good manager, but he just seems to not be able to get it right recently. It just seems to be going wrong for him. So yeah, it's interesting, man, that they're on a similar level to us in terms of like fan frustration, league form, and not performing with the type of players and level of players they have.
Yeah. Obviously, they've not been performing as a team, Shreyas. They can't seem to find the feet. But individuals, in terms of, obviously, Antonio can bully his way through a back line at times. You've got Paqueta, who's a really good player I know you're a fan of. And other ones like Jared Bowen has been a little bit off the boil this season. But is that why maybe the game worries us as fans more because of those kind of players?
It of course does. And once again, any player who's having a tough time this season, whenever they play against United, they seem to find their best form in years. So whether it's Jared Bowen, whether it's Antonio, whether it's Paqueta, Somerville, whoever is actually playing for them this weekend, I think they'll find a lot of joy playing against United with the kind of spaces we leave in behind, with the kind of gaps that are there. Players like Bowen and I would say especially Paqueta, they can genuinely find a lot of space to actually walk into. So it's going to be very tough on the whatever defensive line is going to be coming up against West Ham. It's going to be very tough for them to actually keep them out because Paqueta is a very tricky winger. When you look at Bowen as well, very tricky winger, and you've got a physical aspect of Mikel Antonio who's playing up top as well. And if Fulkrug is coming off the bench, it is going to be a very hard game for whoever is playing for us.
A genuine question, Tom. If Ten Hag stays until the end of the season,
yeah,
are we at that level this season? Do you think we'll be competing with the likes of West Ham, Fulham, Forest for 8th, 9th, or 10th? Or do you actually think eventually we will progress? It'll just take a bit of time.
I think it'd be worse. I think we'll be bottom half of the table. I think the way we're going, I don't
for
see
the first time ever.
Yeah, I don't see us.
In Premier League history.
There's no indication that anything is improving. Like I haven't seen anything. Like beginning of the season, I saw some like green shoots of things.
Yeah,
I'm
pressing was better.
Pressing less shots against goal. XG was improved.
Yeah.
We're 8-9 games in now with 3 European games on top of that and a Carabao Cup game, and it's not moved on. We're not getting better slowly. We're getting worse, if anything.
Yeah.
So I think we could well finish. We could have a Chelsea season, where they were like looking like they were going to finish like sort of 14th, 13th, like 12th, and then they managed to sort of Pochettino got it together in the last sort of bit of the season, rocketed them up the table. So barring that sort of thing happening, I don't have much optimism for United in a minute. I don't have a lot of optimism for United at best of times, but especially at the minute, it's very difficult to see us struggling to beat teams like Brentford and Leicester and Forest, and then just getting absolutely battered by the likes of Arsenal and City and Liverpool and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't. If we finish above like 8th, it'll be a miracle in my opinion.
Would you echo them thoughts, Shreyas? Because it does feel like the majority of the fan base now are, not, I don't want to say Ten Hag out, because I hate using that phrase, but they want a change and they want a different manager. We've got reports coming out now from Chris Wheeler and a lot of stuff going on Twitter about him talking to Xavi, Erdin Terzic, and there was another name in there as well.
Amorim and Frank as well.
Amorim and Frank as well. So these are names that are kind of being, thrown about. Do you have confidence that they'll make a decision if it starts getting really bad, or do you think they'll just travel through the storm?
I think they're already looking into it, to be very honest with you, because what I initially expected was it would be done within this international break itself, but I think they've allowed him time until Christmas. If that's the only reason that they've not taken the call, that allow him time till Christmas. If he is able to turn it around and get some results in, get some consistency in, play some good football by then, maybe they will continue with Ten Hag. But by the looks of it, I think Christmas is the max time. I think by then he'll actually be gone, and we'll be seeing a new main head coach. I don't see Ineos actually taking an interim route either. I think they'll be going in with a new head coach by the time Christmas rolls in.
A tough one, isn't it? I think he definitely needs to get a result at West Ham. I mean, we've said it so many times. If you don't get a result early, his job will be on the line and but they keep just kind of be like, nope.
Are we playing by Christmas? I'm sure that we'll be playing either Arsenal or City.
December's quite a tough period. We've got Arsenal, City, then Liverpool at the start of the year. So
yeah, so
we can't.
Yeah,
we can't keep continuing on though. We're going right. He has to get result this game.
Yeah,
it's just survival mode every game. There's no progression. Yep. We're not advancing a style of play. We're not trying to implement something progression into it. It's just like you need to get a result here. So still pragmatically, so you can't get beaten and try to snatch a goal, and that becomes every week. So then where's the progression then? Just, you can't do that. You can't just you've got 2 games or you got this game or you got it doesn't work. You need to give a manager.
What's the point of clinging on in it at this point?
You need to give a manager. You either need to give him time and just accept this is the way it is, or you need to let him go and move somewhere else. You can't just keep going. Oh, you got this game. You got this game. It's ridiculous.
I don't think we're going to get relegated. I don't think it's that bad, but I certainly think that shout for finishing bottom half of the table wouldn't surprise me with him right now. Yeah. Definitely could happen.
Look at the teams. Look at the teams above you. Are we better than any of them?
No,
no. Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea,
Newcastle,
Brighton, Newcastle, West Ham.
And Newcastle having a bad season, really.
Yeah. Bournemouth.
And they're still higher than us.
Bournemouth play better football. Fulham play better football. Brentford play better football. They all play better football than we do.
Crazy, innit? Absolutely madness. I want to bring it back to the game slightly. Give us your ones to watch for this game, lads. Anyone from Man United, even if it's an obvious one, and then West Ham, who would concern you.
I'm glad Kudus is out, because he'd be the one guy that I'd
and we can all universally agree on that.
Just for fuck's sake, he's going to cause a problem. I think Paquette is a good shout. I think he's a tricky player. He's difficult to deal with, so I think he will be an issue. So definitely watch out for him. Yeah. And can't really look past Onana for United, can you? Because they're gonna have shots on goal, and we're gonna have to rely on him to keep us in the game somehow. And he's gonna have to pull off some miraculous saves that he's been pulling off the last couple of weeks. That's I can't see beyond him. Mazraoui has pulled the games together before, but he's played in the 10. He's been shifted about. He's dropped a couple of stinkers. Are we really going to rely on Johnny Evans to pull us out of this? And then Eriksen, we've got to hope he has a good game so we can get some sort of goal, because if he's not on the pitch, I don't know where the goal or the creation for the goal is coming from. So, yeah, it's difficult for United, but I'd have to go with Onana, which is a sad indictment.
Yeah, my God. Shreyas?
Yeah, I think for them, I think Edson Alvarez in midfield against Eriksen will be a very tough battle for Eriksen. I think Wan-Bissaka will have an interesting game against us for sure. 110% he'll be turning up against us. So yeah, for me it will be those two to watch out for. And for United, I think it's genuinely going to be Onana. I expect West Ham to have a lot of shots against us, and I hope Onana turns up for us once again.
Yeah, I can't disagree with any of that. I'm worried slightly. I think he's not a prolific goal scorer, but what's his name? Antonio. I was going to say Anthony then. Yeah. I went for Anthony and then Antonio, running at those centre-backs. I don't know who's going to start there, but I look at the goal that Fenerbahce scored last night in between both the centre-backs. They just couldn't get anywhere near it. And I think Antonio is going to give them a run around on Sunday. So he's one to keep an eye on for us. It's got to be Christian Eriksen. It's been player of the season, I think, so far, at least one of the contenders. So, yeah, crazy that we're saying that in 2024, but that's how it is. Right, let's do some quick fire questions, lads. Will we keep a clean sheet on Sunday?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not is the correct answer. One player you would take from West Ham?
Kudus. Easy.
Yeah.
I'd take Paqueta. I like Paqueta as a player. Does West Ham finish closer to the bottom of the league or us closer to the top?
West Ham closer to the bottom.
Yeah, just. Not by much, though.
Who will get an assist on Sunday?
Eriksen. If we score.
If we score.
Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka. Okay.
Yeah.
And prediction for man of the match. Sam is yours, Onana. Do we need to just gloss over that? Yeah. Same for you, Shreyas? Yeah. Onana or Ericsson it is. Or Evans. Who knows? Take your pick. Oh, wow. Okay. Can we do predicted 11s?
Yeah.
This is fucking depressing, isn't it? My
So
God.
this is yours and Shreyas because I believe you picked the same team.
Yeah. Let's go through it, Shreyas, together. Obviously, the back line, that's probably the best way we can construct it, right?
Yeah.
The midfield, likewise. Did Ugarte do enough for you to convince Fenerbahce's
I
two
just don't
games?
think Ten Hag never starts Ugarte. Even when he has had good games. I think in my personal opinion, I think he was quite impressive. He was perhaps one of the better performers against Fenerbahce. So, but I think he's going to stick with Casemiro. He's going to stick with Ericsson. Ericsson is going to be unstoppable. Yeah. And Bruno is going to be playing in the 10.
And then same argument for the front three as well, innit? Rashford, Højlund, Garnacho.
It's
best front three, innit?
According to Ten Hag, that's his best front three. So he's going to be running with it.
Yeah, I agree. Sam, what changes have you gone with?
So the only change I've got, I've put Ugarte in as the number 6, just because I think he spoke about him a lot and he had a good performance. I know it was a shit performance, but I think he was one of the better players against Fenerbahce. Yeah, a good performance, and I think maybe he tries to move. And he spoke about it quite a lot at the end of the thing, saying it's a good performance. He needs to build on that. I think the number 6 is a very important position, blah, blah, blah. So I think you might give him an opportunity to play in this game and show his worth. So it would be quite interesting to see if he plays. And I think if you're going to bed him into the team, you might as well bed him in now because the whole thing is shit at the minute. So I think you might as well chuck him in now just to sort of get some experience and stuff. So yeah, that's the only change. Everything else I think is the same as what you guys have picked.
Okay. We've got to that final pivotal moment, lads. What are we going with? I have a feeling we might go for the same, but I don't know if it's... I don't know. Do I know what kick us off, or do you want me to kick it off?
Go on.
You want me to go? 1-1. You going with that as well, Shreyas?
Yeah, I've gone with the same 1-1.
Sam?
I think we get beat.
Oh.
I think 2-1 West Ham.
3 previews in a row and none of us have predicted a win.
No,
3
not
previews in a row.
And we've been right. Apart from... Did we...
Yeah.
I said 1-1 last night.
Apart from Brentford.
Brentford, yeah. I said 2-2 yesterday, didn't I? Yesterday's things. But yeah, I think we get beat. I think it's going to be a really boring, shitty game. We're going to set up like we did against Villa. We'll get a goal and then we'll get pegged back and then there'll be a West Ham corner or some free kick or something like that. And it'll end up in the back of the net. And then, yeah, that'll be it.
Lovely. Yeah, any goal scorers, any key moments you see happening in the game, Shreyas, that you want to kind of call out?
Yeah, I think we'll concede off a cutback. I see a midfield cutback happening in this game and us conceding. And I think for us, Rashford will get on the score sheet. Apart from that, I see a controversial VAR call happening in this game.
Lovely. So either way, if any of our predictions come to light, it's pretty shit in it in general. So fantastic. Yeah, get your score predictions in the comments section. We've got Charlie Mam saying we'll win 1-0 against West Ham, a clean sheet and a win. Shocking. Next game, we get smashed against Chelsea, equally in the same breath. Formation 4-4-2 or 4-4-3. Where's Alice? I don't know how many times I have to say that. Alice is not a part of this. She's just a guest. She's not on every week.
She's on. She's got her own channel and she's on it every single day. Go watch it. She's there every single day.
Yeah, there we go. Right, let's see what happens on Sunday. Lads, we've got the Premier League predictions coming up. Probably drop in the morning that before. I don't think it's an early kickoff, actually, so it might drop it at like 12 o'clock tomorrow. And then, of course, we'll have all the coverage over the game and stuff as well. So, as always, stay locked in. Subscribe to Real Red Talk. We're on 7,265 at the moment, trying to get 10K. And leave a like on the video for us as well. And any predictions are always appreciated. So, thank you to Sam. Thank you to Shreyas. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.